if you want to put a petrol station and that area is a residential area, that building or whatever you have put there can be demolished through the legal way.
Hello everyone, welcome to today's episode of Cledun Deep Dive. I'm your host Billy Mwangi, and today we are with our expert guest, our managing director, Mr. Duncan Muiruri. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
So today we are looking at the topic of land use.
Yes.
What is land use and why does it matter?
Okay, land use is the designated purpose, use of a certain parcel of land, and it matters because different parcels have different use. Number one, it might be commercial, it might be residential, or it might be residential.
Commercial,
residential, or agriculture.
What does change of use mean?
Change of use is a formal or a legal way of changing the government designated parcel of land from one use to a new intended use.
When does it usually happen?
It usually happens, for instance, whereby you want to transform an agricultural land to a commercial land, or else you want to move from a residential land, you change it to a commercial land. That's how it happens. And through that, it is governed by a certain act that is called a Physical and Planning Act of use of land. That is basically nowadays. It is usually undertaken by the local county government. That's why you get the legal documents for you to be able now to change either from agricultural to residential or from residential to commercial. Yes, either.
So somebody cannot use land for a purpose which is different than the one which has been specified.
Yes. Especially, each and every area, there is what the government have designated that area for. If that area is meant for agricultural area and you want to transform it to a residential area, you have to apply for what we call change of use. If you also want to change a residential area to be a commercial purpose, there is also that process of changing that use, and that process it usually take a bit of time because number one, the local county government is involved. That is the one that gives the approvals for the same. The other thing, there is what we call the other part of what we call the public participation. There must be done a notice board that is communicating very, very well that we want to use to change this land from this residential purpose to this commercial purpose, and that notice must be given a 60 days notice. Yes.
Who initiates that process of change of use?
Change of use, first of all, number one is the owner of the land. Initiate that process because he or she is the entitled owner. If he or she is the entitled owner in terms of document, and that is through the title. And then from there, you go to the local county government, you apply for approvals. And then from there, after they approve, that's when the other process is called the public participation. After public participation, there are some other process that happens through the county government. So that now, finally, you get that title. Now moving, if that area was meant for freehold title, it is transformed now to leasehold title. Because most of the commercial areas, titles are lease.
What is one common misconception that people have about change of use of land?
Okay, I think change of use, I think the understanding of the two different titles that we have, the freehold and leasehold. One thing I think so many people usually confuse is that most of the towns or most of the commercial areas, titles there, they are always leasehold titles. And the reason why there is a difference between freehold and leasehold title is because when you have a leasehold, you are entitled to pay lease. You pay for rad rates. You pay for rad rates that are paid for the county government. Yes, if you're in around Thika town, you pay rates to the county government of Kiambu. That's the only difference that is there.
How long can the process of change of use take?
It can take up to 6 months, depending on the area. And also, the purpose, there are also people nowadays who are moving from agricultural land. They want to make it somehow industrial area. That can take up to 6 months because of that process I've told you. You have to do what you call the public participation. The public, because the government also is entitled to make sure that the kind of business that is being put there does not harm the neighbors who are surrounding that area. That's why it usually take a bit of time. And some people say it's usually a bit expensive, but it is.
It is.
Yes, it's a bit expensive, depending on the size of the parcel.
And is there a limit to the size that someone can change? For instance, if you have a 50 by 100, can you do the change of views?
Yes, you can. You can. It might be, yes, you can, depending on how you want to use the land and the kind of business that you want to put in that parcel. But size does not have a limit. Even if it's a 50 by 100, even if it is a 1 acre, 10 acres, up to 100 acres.
You can do change of views.
Yes.
And what can happen in case you use land for a different purpose than the one which is specified?
Of course, there are what we call the legal implications. Number one, if you want to put a petrol station and that area is a residential area, that building or whatever you have put there can be demolished through the legal way. Yes, because you have to follow the due process. You change the title, you do the payment of rates and everything, and the approvals that are required. If you don't do that, they're going to be demolished. And sometimes you can also be prosecuted. Yes.
It is that serious?
It is very, very serious.
Okay.
Yes.
So thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you to our audience. I believe we have learned something today. In case you have any further questions concerning that, you can reach out to us, Cledun Realtors. We are on all social media platforms. Our phone number is 0714 910 910. And you can also visit our offices at Zuhura Place, 4th floor, opposite Quickmart in Thika. Thank you very much. See you on the next episode.